This one's got a whole damn handle on the back. Okay. The new Mach Supersonic, not to be confused with Seattle's stolen basketball team, is an interesting offshoot of the new Mach line from HOKA, which has been one of my favorite light, cushioned, and flexible shoes that they offer. Now, the Mach Supersonic changes most of that by offering a more responsive and protective ride, similar to the Arahi, while keeping some of what made the Mach 4 great. With a layer of ProFly Plus underfoot, the quick and snappy Mach Supersonic is a fun ride for the days you want to throw some tempo or speed work into the mix. Its thick tongue provides a solid lockdown, the dense exposed outsole is amply durable, and the heel pull is built to water ski behind. However, in the deliciously dynamic Mach line, does the Supersonic offer enough underfoot to justify venturing away from its namesake, or does it fall short in comparison to other responsive offerings, even from HOKA? We're going to find out in today's review of the Mach Supersonic. Let's dive in.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. Today, we're going to be reviewing another shoe from HOKA. We've had a number of HOKA reviews because we have a lot of HOKA shoes dropping in the first quarter of 2022. So we thought we'd review a bunch of them now and start rotating in the other brands and other products that we've been reviewing for the last couple of months. So stay tuned. But today, we're reviewing the Mach Supersonic from HOKA. It's fun. As I mentioned in the intro, this is sort of a branch off of the Mach line, which is one of my favorite shoes from last year and from years previous. So it's going to be interesting to dive into some of the likes and dislikes with this one. But before we dive into the review, the FTC requires that I let you know that the shoes were provided for review by HOKA. I'm under no obligation to say anything positive or negative about the shoes, and I am not financially compensated by HOKA in any way for anything I say in this review. All opinions are my own. No one has to approve the video. You're the first to see it. I'm the first to say it. Let's dive in. As always, I like to talk about the things I like and dislike. Today is no different. Things I like about the Mach Supersonic. The fit. So the shoe might be a bit on the narrow side, but it is more voluminous than I expected. But really where this shoe shines is across the midfoot and around the ankle. The tongue is a bit thicker. The materials are more padded. It's very reminiscent of an entry-level shoe, but the rest of the shoe doesn't really reflect that. I just think that the tongue provides you with tons of protection across the top of the foot from the laces, but being gusseted also provides you with some good foot hugging, which seems like something you could charge extra for. I just think that the shoe covers your foot and fits around your foot like a glove, and it's a really comfortable one. And I think the rest of the shoe benefits from only having those thicker, more padded elements through the midfoot and around the heel collar. The rest of the shoe is light and minimal and fun and dynamic, and that helps it fit really nicely. Responsiveness. So this is where this shoe sort of separates itself from the Mach 4. Mach 4 had a real nice soft cushion underfoot, very flexible. In this case, with the ProFly Plus midsole layer and the really dense sort of outsole midsole layer, you're getting a more responsive ride, a more protective ride from underfoot. Very flexible in the front, a little bit less so in the heel. I'll get to that a little bit later. But the ride itself is fun and dynamic, especially for those days where you do want to pick up the pace, where the Mach 4 maybe failed in allowing you to pick up the pace and feel that propulsion. This shoe sort of picks up the slack. I want to commend them on that in this particular model. Responsive. In a good way. Durability. Especially this first quarter of 2022, HOKA has a lot of shoes dropping, and they're using materials and a combination of materials that I think are going to be more resilient, and I think people will be able to get more miles comfortably out of these shoes than they maybe have in the past. I don't think this shoe is really breaking down prematurely, whether it's the outsole, which is actually holding up quite well, or the midsole itself. I don't think it's breaking down or flattening out too soon. I think the upper, this mesh, is also very resilient, and I think it's going to hold up well. So I got to commend HOKA. They're using materials that are more durable, and you're going to see that in the shoes that you get this year. And finally, weight. The shoe's actually pretty light, even with this giant handle of webbing material stitched on here. The shoe weighs in at 267 grams, right around 9.4 ounces in my size 11. That's a pretty lightweight shoe that is going to be a good daily trainer, something that's going to take you around the block thousands of times. It's not a featherweight shoe, but it is noticeably light and comfortable on foot, especially with the thicker materials, this webbing strap on the back. You would think it would be a heavier shoe. It is not. That being said, it's not all Gary Payton and Sean Kemp dunk contests bring back the Sonics. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the Mach Supersonic. Let's get to those now. It's not the Mach. Now, I know I wasn't getting the Mach 5. It's the Mach Supersonic. But what I was hoping was a bit more DNA from what I loved about the Mach 4 carried over into the shoe and help make this shoe even better than what it is. It's not a bad shoe, it's just not a Mach. So I'm sort of surprised by the name. It sort of feels like its own shoe, its own category. Honestly, it's very similar to the Saucony Kinvara, kind of its own standout road shoe, which I also wouldn't compare to the Mach at all. So if anything, the Mach Supersonic just made me wish we were getting the Mach 5. I know many of you might say, dude, it's a different shoe. It's the Mach Supersonic. It's not going to be the Mach 5. I get that. It's just running in the Mach Supersonic sort of made me wish that I had the fun and the joy when I would run in the Mach 4. So, just made me miss the experience in the other shoe, but it carries the same name. So that was sort of the disappointment and the disconnect that I'm trying to get to here. Clunky. I think the best way to describe it is just clunky. From the midfoot forward, this shoe is dynamic. It's flexible. It has that resilience and responsiveness. It propels you forward. It's a great shoe. From the midfoot back, this heel just feels like a giant chunky piece of Lego or something underneath. It's very stiff, really dense. There isn't a lot of give, bounce, or cushion underfoot, but you do get a lot of this really, really responsive material and outsole material. It just doesn't feel like that shoe wants to work with your foot. So if you are at all a heel striker, or you live on hills or you run on hills quite often where descending or heel striking might be part of the game, you're going to feel that the shoe wants to stabilize your foot. It's going to work against you. And that's not really what I remember from any sort of Mach shoes in the past. Midfoot front, good to go. Midfoot back, it's a clunk show. And finally, looks. I'm just not a huge fan of the striping. I think this jackered upper is, dated. I think that's the simplest way to put it. Obviously, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And in my case, I don't think stripes are beautiful, especially when they look like a cross between camouflage and tiger stripes. It's just, not something I really like. But ultimately, that's it for dislikes. So let's get a bit more specific in our breakdown where we talk about build quality, comfort, fit, price, and looks more specifically. Build quality. I think HOKA's doing a great job of trying to increase the durability of their shoes, hopefully not at the expense of comfort. But in this particular case, I think the outsole's holding up quite well. The upper is very resilient, and it's not flattening out or anything like that prematurely. So we're going to get a lot of miles out of the shoe, and they're going to be comfortable, fun miles. So build quality, thumbs up. Comfort, I think this shoe is comfortable from the midfoot forward. This is where I spend most of my time on each of my foot strikes. It's where this shoe really comes alive. From the midfoot back, that heel is really where that comfort kind of begins to fall apart. So if you are a heel striker, you will definitely notice that. Even if you're a midfoot striker, the shoe tends to be a bit noisy as well for midfoot. So just be aware, comfort of the shoe will probably take a bit of a ding because of that lack of flexibility from midfoot back. Fit, I think this shoe is actually a really good fit. Though narrow, the volume, vertical volume, and also the gusseted tongue really contribute to a solid, grippy fit around your foot, like a glove, a very comfortable, soft, embracing glove. And that is where this shoe shines. I really like what they're doing here. Even though that the tongue is super thick and there's like an extra padding around the heel collar, it doesn't hold the shoe back and it doesn't trickle down to the rest of the elements of the shoe. It's a lightweight shoe. It gives you what you want, but it protects you and cradles you where it needs to. Price at $150, I think it's a bit steeper on the price point, and I wish it was just a little bit cheaper than that. Especially now when you have Mach 4 options available, possibly on sale. It might not be the price point that I would wish for this shoe to be at. And finally, looks. I've already mentioned it in my dislikes. I don't like the striping. It's not my thing. I do think HOKA does a good job with big color blocks and color combinations. I've always been a fan. I don't know if this is it for me. Bringing us to our conclusion. I like the Mach Supersonic. I don't think it's anything close to the Mach 4, which is okay. I don't think it's necessarily supposed to be. I was just expecting it to be a bit more like the Mach series because it carries the name over. That being said, those of you who liked the Mach 4 are looking for something with more resilience and responsiveness underfoot, where you can pick up the pace and you can move fast. I think you'll fit nicely into this shoe. I don't think you'll have many issues with this shoe. If you are familiar with the Kinvara at all from Saucony, I think you'll find yourself right at home in this shoe. Even through the midfoot where it's a bit denser and a bit stiffer, it's a very similar experience. And also on the noise front, especially with recent Kinvaras, I think you'll be familiar with the noise underfoot as you're running. I do commend the Mach Supersonic on taking a couple elements from the Mach, being lightweight, fitting on your foot nicely, and implementing them here in a more responsive package for those of you who do want to pick up the pace. So I do think it works. Sort of. My final anecdote is that half of the 60 to 65 miles that I have in this shoe were spent on the treadmill, running in this shoe. I actually think it's a pretty good treadmill shoe. Didn't have any issues with it. It's holding up quite well, and that allowed me to really test the comfort and longevity of the shoe. So far, so good. Bringing me to my final criteria. Is the Mach Supersonic a buy, try, or a why? I think if you are familiar with the Mach 4, you're looking for something more responsive, it is a solid try. I think those of you who are maybe looking for something to pick up the pace, but yet be good for all daily miles as far as a daily trainer is concerned, it is also a try. I think there are other options out there that might be more comfortable, softer, cushier, bouncier. But overall, I think that the Mach Supersonic does what is intended well. So it is a solid try from me. And that, my friends, is it for today's review. If you have any questions or you want to get a pair of the Mach Supersonic for yourself, I have links in the description that will take you over to Running Warehouse. They are affiliate links, but it is honestly the best and easiest way to support this channel. It costs you nothing, but it does support us. I'm really curious if you yourself has tried the Mach Supersonic or is interested in trying this shoe. In the comments of this video, let me know what you think. Are you a fan of the Mach 4? Are you looking forward to the Mach Supersonic getting it on your feet? Let me know. If you like today's review, make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell if you have not already. You'll be notified anytime I post a new review, a new video, a new live stream. Speaking of which, we also do daily live streams. We call it Daily Brew. It's for our GR Crew members. You can go to patreon.com/thegingerrunner and join the GR Crew, see our daily live streams, participate in them. We also have a book club, a weekly trivia night, a Discord server, a whole bunch of great stuff, an amazing global community of people. We would love for you to join. So consider that if you haven't already. That's it. Thanks, everyone. Get out there, train hard, race harder, and party the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week.